Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Here to talk all about some updates with the Steam Machine and Steam hardware that is going to be coming out. Valve and Steam have put out a Steam hardware launch timing and other FAQs page, and it doesn't give us a ton of insight into the things we really care about as far as exact release date, price point, which I think those are the two things people are really waiting on, but it does give us some interesting information nevertheless. So, the post notes, we started the Steam hardware blog as a way to specifically address topics surrounding Steam hardware and wanted to start by tackling some of the most frequently asked questions we've received since announcing these three new products on November the 12th. Those three products being the Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame. Before we dive into the hardware-specific questions we've seen, we want to get straight to the two we know everyone was wondering the most. When will these be launching and how much will they cost? When we announced these products in November, we planned on being able to share specific pricing and launch dates by now, but the memory and storage shortages you've likely heard about across the industry have rapidly increased since then. I appreciate the transparency on that. Sometimes I feel like a lot of companies try to skirt around the topic on what's going on. The changing market environment. No, just say it as it is, the memory and storage shortages, and they continue the limited availability and growing prices of these critical components mean we must revisit our exact shipping schedule and pricing, especially around Steam Machine and Steam Frame. Our goal of shipping all three products in the first half of the year has not changed, but we have to work to do to land on concrete pricing and launch dates that we can confidently announce. Being mindful of how quickly the circumstances around both those things can change, we'll keep you updated as much as we can as we finalize those plans as soon as possible. Because remember, Steam Machine is not going to be something, at least what we've been told, is it's not going to be a product that's sold at a loss. Back in the day, you know, a lot of the times when consoles would come out, they would be sold either at a break even or even at a slight loss because the effectiveness is getting people's foot in the door of the ecosystem. The Steam Machine is different in that regard. I don't think this product is being released entirely as a desperate way for Valve to get people's foot in the door. I don't think they care about that as much. It's more of an option that they're offering their consumer base. And even if you don't have your foot in the door into the PC gaming ecosystem, yes, Steam Machine can bridge you into that, and they're offering you something that can bridge you into the ecosystem, but it's not going to be a way of them getting on their hand and knees begging you to get into their ecosystem by undercutting themselves on the Steam Machine. I don't think that's going to happen, and what that means is get ready to open up the wallets if you want one. And ultimately, I've said this before, but I think Steam Machine for a lot of people is going to act as more of a complementary device to those that are already PC gaming. Let's say they have the gaming PC in their bedroom, but they want a machine for the living room where they can still play games or something to that effect. I think the Steam Machine is going to do really well for that audience, much like what the Deck is. A lot of people don't buy the Steam Deck just as a dedicated platform. Like, they're already invested into PC gaming. They already have a Steam library that they can carry on over, and I think that's one of the biggest value propositions of any of these machines. Remember, whenever you buy hardware and a gaming platform, a lot of the times that means you have to buy the games all over again. If you're on PlayStation and you go to PC for the first time, guess what? You buying all those games all over again, or vice versa. Or you buy a Nintendo Switch 2 because you want a portable gaming device, guess what? You buying all those games again. But in this world where you're talking about Valve having all of this hardware, your Steam library carries over, which I do think is effective. And definitely one of the biggest value strengths on that. Steam Frame and VR. Will Steam Frame support other streaming services? SteamOS has built-in browser, and we expect streaming services to work in theoretical browser mode. How can I request a Steam Frame developer kit? Not going to go over that because most of you guys aren't developers. Will Steam Frame work with Lighthouse Base Station? It's not something they're working on. Can Steam Frame be used while wearing glasses? A bunch of people on the team wear glasses and use Steam Frame without issue, but it really does depend on the width of the glasses and frames. And they continue going over some more insight on that, but on the Steam Machine side of things, how well can Steam Machine play newer, more demanding games on Steam? In our testing, the majority of Steam titles play great at 4K 60 FPS with FSR on Steam Machine. That said, there are some titles that require more upscaling than others, and it may be preferable to play at a lower frame rate with VRR to maintain a 1080p internal resolution. In the meantime, we are working on HDMI VRR, investigating improved upscaling and optimizing ray tracing performance in the driver, so we are approaching this from multiple angles. Bear in mind, 4K 60 FPS does not mean games maxed out at 4K 60 FPS. However, However, because the Steam Machine is going to be a static set of hardware, this is going to alleviate one of the major issues that PC optimization does have, where games have to be optimized for 8 billion different hardware configurations. The Steam Machine theoretically is going to be one static set of hardware. Yes, there might be issues that arise with different programs being run, and if you decide to boot in Windows or whatever the case may be on the Steam Machine, but because generally people are just going to get the machine and then, you know, open it and then play it right out the box, and they're not going to tinker around with it much, developers will be optimizing for that hardware specification, so I think that'll actually make it quite good in a lot of instances. I think you still have to keep your expectations in check. I think some of the top-of-the-line games, you know, are going to struggle on it, and the bigger question to me is what's the long-term viability going to be? You know, it comes out in 2026. How's this machine going to be performing in 2028 as more games come out, and are they going to continually being optimized for it? The deck does really well as a handheld device, and you see a lot of games end up getting optimized for the deck. They got Monster Hunter Wilds now verified on the deck as well. Would have been great if it didn't take a year, but I digress. You know, and I think the machine is going to perform obviously much better than that as its own dedicated box. Will third parties be able to make faceplates for Steam Machine? Will you be making the CAD for those faceplates available? Yes, we plan to share faceplate specs and details in the coming months for customers and manufacturers to make their own. Hey, how about that? I didn't even know that bit of information, but that's great. I'm a big faceplate. I was a big faceplate guy. I don't really care now, but you know, back in the day, love me some faceplates. What components of Steam Machines are upgradable? Steam Machine's SSD, that's NVMe 2230 or 2280, and memory DDR5 are both accessible and upgradable. Can I play non-Steam games with a Steam controller? The controller can work with any game compatible with Steam Overlay, and more to come. Keep following the Steam hardware blog to stay up to date on the latest news and information. So that's the current lineup for the Steam Machine updates and notes. I know it's not the information that everybody wants to hear, but as far as price point goes, again, you guys, I think if you're expecting this to be south of $500, you are going to be very disappointed. And again, I don't think it really is something that Valve should be that desperate with in terms of, yes, would I like it to be a low price point? Goes without saying. But I understand they're operating a business here, and from their vantage point, look, they've already got a incredibly healthy consumer base that is playing games on Steam. Why undercut yourself at this point? Get the product out, make sure it's a worthwhile product. The people that are super invested into PC, they're gonna be the early adopters anyway, invested into Steam, they're gonna be the early adopters. I don't want to use the term, they're the guinea pigs, but you can see where you went right, where you went wrong. Continue to optimize the platform. Hopefully hardware prices go down. You're playing the long game here. When it comes to building an ecosystem, absolutely you have to play a bit of the long game in your first time out. There's gonna be issues. That's just inherently gonna happen, and undercutting your price point, I just don't think, you know, logically speaking, that's the right way to go. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below, your excitement level for the Steam Machine and the other hardware as well. Some people just want to check out the controller. Some people just want the VR Steam frame. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.